Aloha Pepsi Cola, and today marks the 22nd anniversary of the tragedy 9/11, and so just a little memorial in Indianapolis. So I would go check it out. It's just right next to the canals. But I think I looked at this last time I was around the canal, so I'd check it out. And look at that. Some swan paddle boats here. Cool. Yeah, this is some of the swan paddle boats you can rent down on the canal. So, got a little memorial for 9/11. So you got 8:46 a.m. American Airlines Flight 2 crashed into the north face of the one World Trade Center, approximately 466 miles between floors 93 and 99. So pretty fast. 9:03 a.m. United Airlines Flight 175 crashed to the south face of the 2 World Trade Center at approximately 590 miles per hour between floors 77 and 85. Also really fast. So yeah, these planes were going around 466 and 590 miles per hour into the impact into the towers. 9:37 a.m. American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the western face of the Pentagon, consisting mainly of the new renovated unoccupied offices. And 10:03 a.m. United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into an open field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It is believed the passengers prevented the plane from crashing into the White House or the Capitol building, which was one of Al-Qaeda's targets, just like the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. And I was actually pretty near Shanksville a couple of years ago, while I was doing a road trip out to the East Coast, and it was almost going to be one of my stops, but had to get to other stop. It is one of those spots I am going to have to check out in the future, though. And so this is a piece of the Pentagon. And it looks like he was at the Pentagon during the attack. Timothy J. Mallett. So yeah, September 11th, we will never forget. Thousands of lives were suddenly ended by evil, despicable acts of terror. Pictures of the airplanes flying into buildings, fires burning, huge structures collapsing, that filled us with disbelief, terrible sadness, and quite unyielding anger. That's President George W. Bush. As the sod and dirt and ash rained down, we became one color. As we carried each other down the stairs of the burning building, we became one class. As we lit the candles of waiting and hope, we became one generation. As the firefighters and police officers fought their way into the inferno, we became one gender. As we fell to our knees in prayer for strength, we became one faith. As we whispered or shouted words of encouragement, we spoke one language. As we gave our blood in lines a mile long, we became one body. As we mourned together the great loss, we became one family. As we cried tears of grief and loss, we became one soul. As we retell with pride the sacrifice of heroes, we became one people. So it looks like this might have been part of a... Hi. Alright. Is this part of the Trade Centers?
Is this what?
Was this part of the World Trade Center?
Yes, those are actual beams from the World Trade Center.
Oh, okay.
The limestone back there is from the Pentagon.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, cool. It's a nice memorial. Oh yeah, something else here too. It's Project 9/11 in Indianapolis. What's this? The survivor tree was the last living thing taken from the rubble of the World Trade Center. It's a symbol of hope and resurrection. Oh, wow. Americans have the ability to endure and have an unshakable belief in a brighter future. This survivor tree is sponsored by Dolores McCall and is dedicated to all who were lost on 9/11 and their surviving families. Okay, so this tree was actually from the World Trade Center, saved from the rubble. Amazing. This tree survived something like that. Oh yeah, you can see all the swan paddle boats out here. Yeah, so I definitely remember when it happened. Of course, I'm like 33 here in a month. But yeah, it was during I think it was like in 5th grade when it happened. Yeah, I was in 5th grade. It was during I-Step, I believe. Yeah, like I-Step. And so I remember I was actually taking a bathroom break from doing the testing. And so when I got back from, doing the bathroom, walking past the school office or, the school office area, they actually had it playing on the TV because this was like during around like 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. Around when it was first starting. And so I noticed the building, like when the building, the towers, just on fire and smoking, whatever. And this was like before the school came over the intercom and announced that we were under attack. But I remember, I was walking down the hallway, just glancing over at the TV, just playing the news on the in the office, and I was like, "Wow, what happened to the World Trade Center, man?" It's like, is there an accident? Was it a fire? looks pretty bad. So I was probably one of the first kids in my school to even know that, you know, that happened. And so, you know, I sat back down, we were doing the tests, and they just very shortly just came back up on, you know, they came on the intercom and just, you know, just tell, you know, hey, yeah, we're under attack. So yeah, it was a crazy day. That was not a great day at all. But I just remember the whole vibe of that day, just the whole vibe. I mean, we were wondering like how many more buildings were going to be attacked, and like how much more was going to happen that day. And yeah, it was crazy times. Heck, I remember, like, you know, coming home from school that day, and there's an Air Force base not too far from where I lived. Brisson Air Force Base, up just up north of Kokomo. And so there were already like jets, you know, just the Air Force flying around pretty much, you know, like. So I remember that, like, you're just, you know, just the Air Force flying above. So it was an interesting time. Like, yeah, I really thought we were, like, under attack. And, I mean, we were under attack. I mean, they took out some major buildings. Yeah, crazy times. So, yeah, if anybody watching this has any stories to tell, I mean, yeah, just, you know, where they were at during that day and whatever. I mean, yeah, just leave it on the comments. Interesting to hear. I just know, like, yeah, I was in intermediate school, 5th grade, doing I-step, and I was probably one of the first kids that knew about it, but, you know, whatever. It's crazy times. Here we are, 22 years later. It was definitely a turning point in our history. I believe, like, especially for like millennials and like this generation. I mean, yeah, things definitely weren't the same after that, geopolitically. And now here we are in like this new geopolitical era. Now that we've like withdrawn from Afghanistan. And now, like, Russia is invading Ukraine, and it's like Cold War 2.0 or something going on here. Yeah, it's crazy. I lived just about like 33 years, and already I've been going through like 3 different geopolitical eras. I mean, I guess you could even count maybe 1990 as being part of Cold War. I mean, I was born just before the Soviet Union collapsed completely. So it's like I could probably even consider myself living through like 4 geopolitical eras. You know, you had the Cold War, the post-Cold War, the Clinton years and everything like that, or we're like actually allies of Russia and everything for that decade. And then, you know, 9/11 happened, and so now it was just like from 2001 till, you know, heck, up to like COVID times, that, you know, that was the war on terror, the global war on terror. And then here we are with this new, I don't even know what you call it, like Cold War II? Precursor to World War III? I mean, I hope not. But yeah, I just thought I would share a little bit, you know, about what I experienced and back in that day 22 years ago. Just share what, you know, my experiences living through these few decades already, you know, just what I've seen politically, you know, like I'm a world, I guess I'm a worldly person. I travel a lot, but I mean, I do have a fascination with like world politics and like geography and just history and things out there, and it's like, yeah, just rambling out a little bit, but yeah, share what you've experienced and share what you went through that day. I mean, it's interesting to talk about. I mean, a lot of people, it changed a lot of people's lives, you know, it took a lot of people's lives. It's such a hugely important time that in our history, that day. I mean, it really is, like, yeah. Anyway, I will, more deep, serious entry this time around, but I thought it was necessary to have the tone for that. I'm kind of just rambling a bit anyway. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Anyway, we'll go look at some Halloween decorations and like Menards or something. Anyway, this has been Corey. I'll see you all out there, and yeah.